What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing good. It's a beautiful day. My jacket, look at my new jacket. It's fire. Hope you're doing great. It's a beautiful day. Today we're talking again about very similar subject. Finland has come forward and say it's going to cut aid from countries that are supporting Russia in its war. Finland has come forward. Okay, very interesting. We're going to jump into this very quickly and see and try to identify what does this mean. Finland will not give any development aid to government and countries that support Russia's war in Ukraine. According to the program of Finland's new right-wing government, Foreign Trade and Government Minister Ville Tavio. So Ville Tavio is part of the new government of Finland. It's a right-wing government. You know right-wings, who they are. So basically they said it will not provide any help. They will cut aid to countries that support Russia or support Russian war. So we're going to try to find out, who are they talking about in reality? Who does Finland help? Who is the victim here? You know, we need to wake up, fellas, and understand where we go. So Finland say they're going to cut aid. They will not give development aid to countries and entities that support Russia's war of aggression, the new government programs read. The government will not only cut development aid by millions, but only prioritize, redirect it. They will redirect the fund to Ukraine. So Ukraine will be the new recipient country. Let me stop right there. Mr. Tavio said, Finland will not provide help to developing countries anymore. Let me put it this way for you. So Finland has a budget of $1.7 billion a year that it sends to developing countries. And many of these beneficiary countries are Kenya, Ethiopia, Mozambique, Somalia, and Tanzania. These are the countries, some of the countries that benefit from this. And these are African countries. I mean, African brothers have been benefiting from Finland for many, many years now. And unfortunately, Finland's going to cut aid. As you know, most countries that have decided to stay neutral are being called supporters of Russia. What they want you to do is to condemn Russia openly, even though you choose to be, non-aligned to anybody. They don't want that. They want you to support their group. That's how it is. If you're not with us, you are against us. That's manipulation, one-on-one. And number two, a few days ago, you remember we were talking about Poland and how South Africans were blocked at the airport in Warsaw. And one expert from the United States came forward and said Poland is one of the most racist countries in the world.
Poland is one of the most racist nations on the planet. The most racist people in Europe, second only the Ukrainians.
Only second to Ukraine. Remember that. Very interesting, right? Then a few days later, there was a Ukrainian politician that came forward and said Africans are primitive. They came with very primitive ideas about resolving this war. They don't have the power, they don't have the means, they don't have the qualification to resolve this war.
The African delegation had no goal for settling the conflict or finding a solution. Obviously, this is not their task. It's not on their level or their competency.
Diminishing and really humiliating presidents of republic. Not one, but many of them. And this guy just come out of the blue and say, you do not have the tools. You are not capable. You have a primitive idea because you got interest in Russia. Russia gives you food. You remember that? Now, Finland comes forward and say we're not going to send aid anymore to people that are supporting Russia. As you can see, the world tend to feel like Africa is supporting Russia, because let me remind you, when they went to vote the resolution against Russia in the United Nations, 23 African countries refused to condemn Russia. 23, that's a lot. And after that, Ukrainians have tried very hard to try to convince African countries to support them. And African countries have not supported Ukraine openly. And again, you must remember, these people are conservative. Who are conservatives? Conservative are the right wings. They are the people that believe you should stay in your country. Don't come in our country. Stay in your country. We don't want to mix with you. We can keep our own while you keep your own. These are conservatives. They don't mix, they don't mingle, they don't intermarry. These are the people, yes, that's who they are, right wings. So a new government come into power in Finland and say, from now on, we are not sending any more funds to countries that support Russia. And the countries that supposedly support Russia are African countries, because there are 23 countries that refuse to condemn Russia openly. Okay, so in other words, we don't like you anyway, so let's find a reason not to send you the money anyway. It's $1 billion this year, but from now on, because it's you, we don't like people of your country, we're not going to send money to you anyway. Okay, do you remember a few months back, the pressure Uganda received in order to accept that mentality they wanted from America. Uganda refused to accept it, and there were sanctions. They nullified some of the visas of Ugandan parliamentarians. And then they said, no more aids for Uganda. You're not receiving any aids anymore. The United States used to send money for aiding and helping people living with HIV and AIDS in Uganda. $400 million were sent to Uganda. They stopped. They say they're punishing the government. Now, how can you be punishing the government if people that are beneficiary are actually just normal human beings that are suffering? Are you really punishing the government, or are you just punishing the people that you're supposed to be helping? If you truly are helping them for real with no back intention. So let's see about Finland. Why is Finland angry at Russia? Okay, why is Finland angry at Russia? So we know that Finland and Russia are very different. Let's take one example. We know that Finland has accepted the LGBT movement since 1971. It is legal to have, that sort of activity and marry. In 1971, so that's a long time ago. They are one of the most progressive countries in the world, as opposed to Russia, that up until now does not accept men and women and women. It's illegal in Russia. If you look at what do they have in common, all these countries, you can very quickly see what they have in common. And why are they really angry at Russia? They are very different when it comes to mentality. What does Russia have in common with Africans with regard to that same subject that you know? Russia and Africans do not accept that. That's very clear. So, on the other hand, let me say this. Africans should stop to be beggars, because this is what it is. This is what it comes down to. You're going to do things the way I want you to do them, or else you're not receiving anything from me. That's what it is. Why are African beggars? Why do we always have to beg from other people? I do not understand that. But aren't we the people that have all the wealth in the world? We have all the minerals. We have everything the world needs to move forward. We are creating the world of technology of today. The world needs the lithium, the cobalt, the coltan from Africa to build trains, electric cars, cellular phones, missiles, and rockets, and so many other things. Why are we apparently the people that are begging to be helped, begging to be supported? And I'm opposed to this idea of Finland coming forward and say, from now on, whoever support the Russian war will be cut off aid. And we are planning to cut off the aid from 1 billion to 200 million by 2030. That's the objective of Finland. Meanwhile, we all know who are benefiting from this aid from Finland. Why are we getting aid from other people? Why can Africans get together to function, work, and create something of themselves so they cannot be beggars anymore? Now, we know somebody tried. We know some people tried in the past. We know Gaddafi tried in the past to create the dinar, the money that was backed by gold, the money that Africans were supposed to exchange with, ditching the dollar. That would have made Africa the most powerful continent in the world, because that would have meant that whoever's got the gold has got the wealth. And the people who do not have the gold do not have the wealth. Because wealth is not paper. Paper is not real money. What happened after that? They came for Gaddafi. And unfortunately, some people of Africa also helped him to bring him down. That's very sad. Africa need to wake up. I found this very insulting. Let me remind you again that Finland is the very last country to join NATO. They actually never really had any issue with Russia. Just because of different ideologies, Russia doesn't support this while you are supporting that. They decided to join NATO and be an open door to big Russia. Let me know how you feel about this. Should Africans continue to beg and ask for help from our countries that don't necessarily have better things than them? How can Africa move forward? Shouldn't we get organized, work together, open the borders, open the market, help everybody move forward so that we can genuinely move our continent forward? We are tired of being told what to do. And you're going to do this. If you don't, we're going to cut the aid. What is this? Who need that? Let me know how you feel about this. Feel free to join us. It's always a very good pleasure to have you guys. And also, don't forget to do this. God bless.